last leaf. In the poorer parts of New York, there was a colony where many struggling artists lived. Among them were Sue and Johnsony. They had came to New York from different parts of United States. When they met, they found that they shared the same interest and became friends. They shared a flat and set up a joint studio trying to earn a living through art. Johnsony was a small, thin and not very strong. After spending a few months in New York, she became ill with pneumonia. In those days, it was not easy to cure pneumonia patients. Though Sue looked after her well, Johnsony showed no signs of improvement. One day, the doctor told Sue that Johnsony had one chance in 10, and that chance is for her want to live. He said, "Your little lady has made up her mind and that she is not going to well." He told Sue that medicines alone did not help if the patient did not wish to live. That day, Johnsony just laid in bed without making any sound or movement. First, Sue thought that she had fallen asleep, but then he noticed that Johnsony was looking out of the window and was counting something again and again in a very low voice, almost a whisper.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sue too looked out of the window, but there was nothing to see. Only an old ivy vine gland and decayed at the roots. Climbed halfway up brick wall. The cold breath of autumn has taken away most of leaves. Only the skeleton branches were left, clinging to the bricks.
What is it, dear?
6. They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100. It made my head ache to count them, but now it is easy. There goes one another. There are only 5 left now.
5 what, dear?
Leaves on the ivy vine. When the last one falls, I must go too. I have known that for 3 days. Didn't the doctor tell you?
Oh, I never heard of such a nonsense, said Sue. What had old ivy leaves do with your getting well? And you used to love that vine so. Don't be silly. The doctor said that you had excellent chances of getting well. Take some broth now and let me get back to my work.
But Johnsony kept looking out of the window.
There goes one another. No, I don't want any broth. That leaves just 4. I want to see the last one falling before it gets dark. Then I will go too.
Johnsony, will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out of the window until I am done working? I must hand those drawings in tomorrow. I need the light, otherwise I would have closed the window. I don't want you to keep looking at those silly ivy leaves.
Tell me as soon as you are finished.
Try to sleep. I must call Behraman up to be my model for the old man that I am drawing. I will not be gone for a minute.
Old Behraman was a painter who lived on the ground floor, but he was a failure in art. For 40 years he had wielded the brush, but had not made any money. He had been always about to paint a masterpiece, but had never yet begun it. For several years, he had only made a few paintings. He earned a little by serving as a model to the young artists in the colony who could not afford other models. He always talked of his coming masterpiece. Sue told Behraman about Johnsony's fancy. Old Behraman was shocked that anyone could have such idiotic imagines.
What? Are the people in the world foolish enough to die because of leaves dropping off from a vine? I have not heard of such a thing. Why did you allow this thought to enter her brain? She is very ill and weak. The fever has made her mind full of fancies. This place is not good for Miss Johnsony. Someday I will paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away.
Johnsony was sleeping when the two went upstairs. Sue showed Behraman the ivy vine that Johnson saw through the window. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking and then began their work. Outside, a cold rain was falling continuously and mingled with snow. Sue closed the window.
It's the last one, said Johnson. I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today and I shall die at the same time.
Johnsony was preparing herself for the last journey that one makes alone. The feeling was very strong within her. The ties of Sue's friendship and other things on earth became loose one by one. The day wore away, but even through the twilight, they could see the lone ivy leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. At night, again the wind raged and the rain poured. Next day, when it was light enough, Johnson asked Sue to open the window. The ivy leaf was still there. Johnson lay for a long time looking at it. Then she called Sue.
Sue dear, I have been a bad girl. Something had made a last leaf stray at there to show me how wicked I was. It was a sin to want to die. Now I'm feeling better.
After that, she was ready to take the broth and the milk that Sue brought her. She wanted to sit up in the bed. Someday, I hope to paint the Bay of Naples. Mr. Behraman downstairs was now ill with pneumonia. The sweeper has found him lying helpless in his room with wet clothes and shoes. He also found some scattered brushes and palette with green and yellow colors mixed on it. 2 days later, Mr. Behraman died in a hospital. The last ivy leaf was still there on the wall. It never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Behraman's masterpiece. He had painted it there that the night when the last leaf has fallen. This story is adapted from The Last Leaf by O. Henry. Thank you everyone. This is Shreyansh from Skills of Development.